It, isn't it funny, you guys, that they telegraph everything they do? Like all the headlines, if you're not aware, fully aware that the headlines are for the conditioning of the masses. They're conditioning the people. They that's why all these people, these news anchors and stuff, they're scratching their head. They can't figure out why everyone's telegraphing everything about what they do. Like this has been all in the headlines lately. Could Israel's Iron Dome be overwhelmed? And it's in there every headline. Look, that was from First Post. This one's from CNN. The U.S. believes Israel's missile defense system could be overwhelmed in a war. And I understand that that would be an analysis that the U.S. would take. But if they're their ally and, and this is really happening, which it's gonna, they wouldn't be telegraphing that. They're letting you know what's going to happen. And why do you think that is? Why do you think, and look, and all the other headlines is all out war. You see it in every headline, even CBN, I noticed, the Christian Broadcast News Network, is saying the same thing, and they're talking about the dome being overwhelmed. Well, why there would be no military strategic benefit in letting your enemy and the world, whoever might want to attack you, know that there's a chink in the armor. It would never be tactical to do so. So the reason they're doing this is, just think about why they would do this. And look, they're telling you that they keep inching towards the goalpost, towards the war. So they keep telling you every week, every day, they come out with a new headline that says that, and they all know this too. 10 years ago, there was no one saying nothing about war. They downplayed everything. But now they've got they're inching, but really they've got the pedal to the metal, using words like all out war. And every news channel was talking about that the last few days. And if I don't know, maybe you're not aware, but that's what's happening. And so why do you think they would do this? Why do you think they would telegraph us everything and give us all these details and at the same time be doing things that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever? They're doing that so they can get whoever they want the population to be trained, conditioned to think a certain way about things. They want to get you to a 1984 state of mind where you hand over all authority to one governing body that comes in and rescues you from all the chaos and all the lies that and all the rumors of wars and everything that we've seen happen, all the corruption. This is why they're doing this. This is why Trump's being prosecuted. Do you know how many charges Trump had before he got convicted of the 34? Altogether, do you know how many felony charges or I don't know if they're felony, let me back that up, but charges in whole, regardless of whether they're felony or misdemeanor, but they might all be felony. But he had 88 charges, you guys. Really? And how long have I been talking about Trump and the 88 and the 34? If you remember, when Trump was president, when he came out, he I can't remember where he was. He was in, and I showed you, I broke it down. We broke it down right here on this video, or on this channel. I'm sorry. Excuse me, on this channel. He came out onto the stage for a rally somewhere, and they had a screen behind him, and someone threw up the double-headed eagle behind him, right? And it was a big controversy, and they said it was a mistake, and that the guy who did it, who pushed the button or whatever, they fired him. And it wasn't a mistake, because we found out that was the seal. That's the image on the seal for the ancient rite of Memphis Mitzrayim, which is the 34th degree of whatever, of the Freemason, whatever you call it. I know I thought 33rd degree was the highest, but it ain't. I guess when you graduate to 34th degree, I don't know if you're technically a Freemason anymore. I don't know how all that stuff works, but that's what all that stuff signified. And it's huge. It's like he's God, and well, I mean, is he not treated that way right now? And don't think for a second that all this MAGA, all these Trump tards that you see out here, don't think for a second that that's not a result of the conditioning. They conditioned you. They put that on Fox News. I know I was guilty of it too. I used to be a Fox News head. I would only watch Fox, and CNN just made my blood boil just looking at it. That's how I used to be. Now I see them both as just as cheesy and dirty as they all are, every one of them. And actually now Fox News is more of a propagandist news network than CNN is, and which is saying something, because they both are. But they condition the world. I know the people, they love him and his ideas, but that's all they are. They're just things he said. He's done a few things, but it's all been propped up. And why is that? Why would they have done that? To get this country divided, to get their goal. They're in the end game. This is all about the end game. This is the reason that Trump has been the president, and all his friends have been pretending to hate him, like Hillary Clinton, and that's to get, and all this stuff that don't make no sense, that's preposterous, that's on the news all the time, all these scandals and stuff, it's all been one big show to get this end to come about. So, and ultimately, it's the Most High that's done it all. So that's what you have to keep in mind too, because it's about his end game. But being how all that is going on, you see all that going on, I hope and pray none of you guys buy into none of the BS these news channels are spewing. I hope that you know that you're critical thinkers, because that's what this channel's been about this whole time. That's what I've been doing this whole time. I've been asking questions, not just going with what's trending. And we found out so much truth. We found out that the 34 was all about, and back then there was 34 all in the news when that happened. When they showed that double-headed eagle on the thing. And that was a sign. This is how these guys communicate with one another, and they love doing it. Why not? You know these movies, these big Hollywood movies, those thunker movies, where at the end of the movie you're just blown away at how masterful they made that. I mean, I know a few movies I could think of that did that to me when I watched them. Like good movies. I'm talking about like Scorsese or what's the other one? Like those kind of movies, where you're thinking about it. And there's a lot of people that don't pay attention, that really had no idea what was even going on in the movie the whole time. They don't even really know what happened. They weren't there. They didn't witness the whole story. But if you were paying attention, you seen what the story was about. Well, Do you know that a lot of those movies like that, there's another part, there's another story being told in a lot, if not all of those movies, that even someone who sat and paid attention didn't catch. And it's stuff that we've been breaking down here. It's been the story. It's like Little Red Riding Hood. It's the same story. Wizard of Oz, Furioso, Mad Max Saga. We broke it down. Twin Peaks, Little Shop of Horrors, I Pet Goat 2. And I mean, I can keep going. I'm not kidding you. I could just keep going and going and going with movies, shows, books. 1984, all of it. They're all saying the same thing in code. And once you realize the coding, the words that the Most High uses, these riddle words like horse and chariot and waters and thunder and lightning, and you understand what those words mean and signify, then you see another story in these movies being told, and it's the truth. Like Thunderbolts, for example, this new movie coming out next year called Thunderbolts. That movie's all about what I'm talking about the message, about the throne, about returning home to the throne. And there's something I want to remind everyone of, and if anyone disagrees with me, please come and let's reason together, and I'll show you, I'll confirm it to you that I'm telling you the truth. The two witnesses in Revelations is Isaiah and Jeremiah. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, and I'll prove it to you. And once you see that third dimension, I guess, message, that coded message, for lack of a better term, I guess, but that third level, I guess that's the best word to say, the third level, because most people are deer in the headlights. They ain't got a clue about nothing that's going on. Then there's the other people that are questioning things, but they're still operating on a spirit of, income, social status, you know what I'm saying? Like what they drive, where they live, how they live, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And so their attention never can turn to the Most High's will, desire. It never will fully. They might want to, but until they prioritize their priorities and bring their level of drive and motivation for the money and the fame and to be the one down and decrease, and bring their motivation to make Abba the one and what he says and in his will, their delight, they're always going to be looking in the wrong direction. But soon as you straighten out your priorities and get your priorities straight, you can, and you start wanting to do things the way that the Most High wants you to do them, and then come back and read this word. That is why in Revelations it says that the Lamb was the only one worthy to open the scrolls. I promise you, that's why it says that. When you start looking at life like a lamb, like coming home to the throne, doing just the shepherd taps you on the back with the rod, you get back into the flock and you come with the shepherd. Literally, spiritually, mentally, financially, however you want to chop it up. That's what you do. When you do that, you got lamb glasses on, and you come back and read Isaiah, you're going to understand perfectly why him and Jeremiah are the two witnesses. So, and 2nd Esdras and Enoch make it clear as day for anyone who wants to know. But like I said, and I'm not boasting, but I learned about that before I even read those, and I was already thinking that. But they just confirmed it all the more. The This whole Isaiah is about the renewed Jerusalem, and not the fantasy that these believers think, that it's not a city that's going to float down from outer space or out of the sky or out of heaven, whatever they think. That is never going to happen. That's not what that means. That is a riddle, I promise you. So Isaiah, especially in these last chapters here, I think there's 66 or 68 chapters. These last chapters, all this word is directed directly to the renewed to Jerusalem. She's never left. The everlasting foundations. Where he placed it, that's Jerusalem forever. Where he placed his name. It's not up in space. It's there. But what's going to happen is it's going to be made brand new. It's going to be just like, okay, before this land was called America, what was it called? The Native Americans must have called it something, right? So, but now it's America. It's been made new. It's the foundations. And now, but these kids nowadays, like the generation nowadays, whatever they're called, Generation Z, this is America to them. And anything else it don't compute. So that's what's going to happen. This land, this world is going into a transition. And the fire, the Most High said he's going to destroy the earth with fire. That's riddle too, because the lamb is the goal. The lamb is the gold. When he says, I'm going to refine you as gold. If you could see yourself, your faith, your walk, your journey, refined to the purest point that the Most High is trying to get you to, the finish line. That's the lamb. The finish line is being a lamb, following the lamb wherever he leads you. That's back to your house. So that walk, that highway, that song is your process of refining. And when you get home, when you come home, then that's what all this word tells you. I assure you. And you know how I can prove it? We don't even have to read the word. You know how I can prove it to you right now in this conversation, how that's the truth? Because what does it mean if you can't do that? If you are unwilling to come to his true set apart dwelling place and bow yourselves to come in, to engage in a lovingly committed relationship with our Creator, the one you say you serve. If you are unwilling to do that, I'm not saying incapable, if you're unwilling to come do that, that tells you and me everything we need to know, doesn't it? Yes. And if you are willing to do it, to drop everything and follow that lamb to the true throne, it's not a joke to you. You take this seriously. If you do that, that's following the lamb. That's the refining, the fire. That's how he's going to destroy the earth and everyone who dwells in it with fire, because everyone who cannot do that, and it's going to be almost everyone who are going to say no to this. And he tells us that too. Everyone that does it is going to be destroyed. Plain and simple. Just think about it and you're going to find the truth. You're going to see, if you're just a rational person who can think critically and you're not biased either way, you just want the truth, you want the facts about the Most High, and if you're like that and you can think about what I just said for a minute, you'll know that I'm telling you the truth, that you must come back to his house. Otherwise you ain't faithful, you ain't lovingly committed. Bottom line. Yeah, I'm not saying that what you've been doing ain't been lovingly committed and faithful. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if you can't say yes to this, you weren't faithful enough, were you, to be able to come to the Most High's house. You must be like most people, drunk off of the wine of the wrath of the whoring of the Whore of Babylon, and you think that this is just only going to happen in a dream or a fantasy. No, this is real. We're here really. We really are living our real life right now. And your steps, your words, your actions, they all count. The Most High has his eyes on us, and he's going to look down at his dwelling place, and he's going to know who loved him by who's standing there and who ain't. Bottom line, it's just common sense. It's common sense. It's just, I mean, just look at any example, any relationship, you know, like a man and wife, a husband and a wife. It's not a marriage if one of if the husband don't ever come home. If he don't care about the house, or if she don't care about the house. It's not a marriage. It's ridiculous to even think so. So that's us coming out in this great distress right now, my friends. But check out this. We'll just read a little bit of this, and right here in verse 1 of chapter 54 is a prime example of how Isaiah is one of those two witnesses, and it's proof, 100% confirmation. Verse 1 confirms the fact that there's two cities, and she's the one who says that she's the one in the end when this truth would come out. Well, take a look around. That's what's happening right now, isn't it? Yeah. So watch. It's going to tell you. It's going to confirm to you that what I've been telling you is the truth. Sing, O barren one, you who did not bear. Break forth into singing and cry aloud, you who have not been in labor. For the children of the deserted one are more than the children of the married woman, said Yahuwah. Now, just honestly, how many of you guys think that wasn't about Jerusalem and another woman, another city? How many of you think that honestly think that that's talking about a regular woman or a church? It's not. This is talking about Jerusalem and the impostor. Enlarge the place of your tent, and let them stretch out the curtains of your dwellings. Spare not, lengthen your cords and strengthen your stakes, for you shall break forth to the right and to the left, and your seed inherit the nations. See, he's talking about Zion. All this is Zion, is directed to Zion. And that's how a lot of the word is. It's Zion will be talking sometimes. Do not fear, for you shall not be put to shame, nor hurt. You shall not be humiliated. For the shame of your youth you shall forget, and not remember the reproach of your widowhood anymore. And look, it's the people too, because there's no city without a people, right? And there's no people without a city either. Not the Most High's people. They have a city, a strong city. Jerusalem. Facts. Those are facts. So he's talking about Zion is when his children and him are in the spot of the city where he placed his name. In truth. We've been reading it, haven't we? In truth and in righteousness. And look, let's go back here real quick to 51. Oops. Oh, 51. Watch right here. I know I've read this to you so many times, but look, he says, listen to me, you who pursue righteousness, seeking Yahuwah, look to the rock you were hewn from, to the hole of the pit you were dug from. If you're seeking righteousness and Yahuwah, pursuing righteousness, look to the rock you were hewn from, to the hole of the pit you were dug from. Go back to the spot. And it's here in Utah, I assure you. And if you disagree with that, come and I'll confirm it to you. I'll give you confirmation after confirmation after confirmation after confirmation. How much time? My first question will be, how much time do you have? But hey, anytime, because I'll enjoy every second of it. That's what I do, and that's what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for the interaction. I've been asking for it. So, and he goes on to say, look to Abraham, your father, and to Sarah, who bore you. Why? Abraham walked, didn't he? They left. They had to trust. That was Abraham. His walk was the refining of his life. Hallelujah. He did it, huh? And that's what all this has been guiding us towards to this day and time. And the fact that we're talking about actually coming to the true location. We found its true location. We seen the Most High lift the skirt up of the image of the beast, the one that says she is it and there is no one but her, which is the fake state of Israel that the Rothschilds, the Chaldeans, made through bloodshed and unrighteousness and lies and deceit and sorcery and magic, potent magic spells. And it's been that way since day one, and it still is that way to this day. And even worse, it's on steroids now, on camera, on TikTok, where everyone can see it. I got all the confirmation anyone needs. And we're all going to have to do what Abraham was asked to do. But this is the twist. Just like those movies, this is the plot twist. The Most High showed up and visited, told Abraham out of his own mouth, come do what you got to do. That was to get us here. That's not going to happen with our case, in our case. He's going to talk to you, but not like that. This is like a treasure hunt. This is for all the marbles. This is for the ultimate refining of a generation of mankind. To get us into that gate, to sit down in the reign, to rule and reign. Like I've been saying, it's going to be a generation unlike any other, and the word tells us that too. Enoch, 2nd Esdras, all the word tells us the same thing. And obviously, just think about that. Why wouldn't it be? It's the time, the pinnacle of time. When we get to the end of the latter days, the end where all this stuff happens and it's over, that is what the Most High has been aiming at. He's been inching towards. All time has. So those of us now in this generation that come searching for him because they're hungry and they're thirsty, they're meek, they're trembling over his word, they fear him, they bow to him, willing to come bow anytime. I mean, it ain't even a question. You're telling me that's his true home and I can come over there, I can drive over there right now? Bet. They're in the car, bags packed, in the car, on the way. A true servant who truly fears the Most High. Anyone else who don't truly fear him, yes, they're going to tell you they do. They appear to fear him, yes. But if they can't, that separates the wheat from the chaff. You could just look at it as like the millstone, the threshing floor, the point of impact, the point of separation. And that's what last year, that's what in October of October 7th, 2023, that's what that marked. It marked the beginning of the separation, like peeling off a Band-Aid. And those of his servants who truly want to serve him and fear him are going to have to rip it off, turn it back, and come out of Babylon, touch not the unclean thing, and return back to Zion. For Yahuwah shall comfort Zion. He shall comfort, he shall comfort all her waste places, for he makes her wilderness like Eden and her desert like the garden of Yahuwah. Joy and gladness are found in it, thanksgiving and the voice of song. See? And that's how you know, that's how you can distinguish between the real and the fake. The end is going to be when we return to Zion. And joy, gladness, thanksgiving, and the voice of a song are found in it. Forever, it's a wrap. That didn't happen in 1948. It's been bloodshed, deception, magic, potent spells, lies, broadcasting of magic, potent spells from Hollywood onto the masses, conditioning the brains and the minds of the masses, and trying to warring with the Lamb, trying to overcome the Lamb. But this is how you can prove this. They can't overcome the Lamb because the everlasting foundations. The Most High is here, and he does not change. All you have to do is turn and come do it. Come here. It's over. That's how the Lamb overcomes. And that's how the refining happens. No refining happened there in that time. It's only been more debauchery. There might have been good people who had good intentions, yes. There's been a lot of good intentions. But it's not about your intentions. It's about whether you get it wrong or you get it right. Bottom line. Bottom line. I would, if I get out right now, bum leg and all, and try to do a backflip, I could have the best of intentions to pull that off, but it ain't gonna happen. And if if I bust my head and I don't succeed, well, what good did my intentions do me? I got it wrong. We can't proclaim and declare that we serve and fear the Most High if coming to his house at the appointed times is out of the question. Check it out.